It's hard to believe that it's been nearly 2 years since Nissan first showed us the reincarnated Fairlady Z, and ever since this car came out, we've been expecting an even hotter Nismo version. Well, today I'm here just outside of Los Angeles, California with the all-new Nismo Z. Now we finally have the vehicle in the flesh. Let's go ahead and take a first look. So now that we finally have the new Nismo version of the Z in the flesh, I want to go ahead and talk about the powertrain changes, because even though this is the most track-capable version, Nissan has always given the Nismo version more power, and that's courtesy, of course, via a 3-liter twin-turbocharged direct-injection V6. Nissan says they've revised the turbos, they've improved the cooling, they've given it a different wastegate, and of course a software tune to now have it deliver 420 horsepower and 384 pound-feet of torque. That's a 20 horsepower boost versus the regular Z and around 34 more pound-feet of torque, so it is a nice improvement. The sad thing, however, about the Nismo is it only comes with a 9-speed automatic transmission. The regular Z offers a 6-speed manual. However, Nissan says that the automatic is going to be better for track times, for acceleration. They've also said that they've improved the shift quality and the speed of the 9-speed, so it should again give us better control, and it also will include launch control. This vehicle remains rear-wheel drive with a limited slip differential, and they don't have final fuel economy figures just yet, but the Z Performance with the automatic gets 1928. I expect this to get slightly worse fuel economy, but we'll have that number as we get closer to the on-sale date. Nissan doesn't quote performance figures right now, but they did quote the weight. This vehicle, as it sits, weighs in at around 3,700 pounds, so this is about 100 pounds heavier versus a regular Z Performance. Now, in terms of the styling of this vehicle, I'm not supposed to close the hood, so we're going to let the Nissan guy close the hood for us. This vehicle has been teased for a few months now, and I have to say, compared to the regular Z, it has a different look to it. I especially love the new front fascia. As you guys know, when the Z first came out, it had that slightly controversial front end where it kind of looked like a smiling mouth because of the square. As you can see, they've widened the grille and made it a little bit slimmer, and they also added this new kind of diamond mesh hexagonal insert, which Nissan claims is the slimmest that they've ever used. It's all, again, for improved cooling. I also love the red stripe that kind of goes along the front that's following around the rest of the vehicle. There's also the Nismo badge to show that you have a special Z. And this vehicle does sit a little bit lower, and it's also almost an inch wider in the width. Again, it's going to give us a more dynamic stance to it. This color, as you can see as well, is a unique color to the Nismo. It's called Stealth Gray. Nissan's going to offer a choice of 5 different colors. Red is also an option, but this Stealth Gray, I have to say, with the red accents, looks really good. This car continued to stand out when it first came out, and I have to say they've kind of taken it to the next level with the Nismo version. Now, at an overall length of around 173.6 inches long, this is about almost an inch longer than the regular Z, and that's all courtesy of the bodywork, just like the width of the vehicle. That increase in width is going to give it, again, more grip, and it allowed Nissan to put even fatter tires on this vehicle. Now, you can see the Nismo has its own unique set of wheels. These are a 19-inch forged alloy wheel, kind of with this gloss black painted wheel. It looks really good with the Akebono red painted calipers. This is a 4-piston Brembo style caliper. The brakes have also been enlarged with improved cooling. This is a nearly 15-inch diameter in the front, so it's about an inch larger in the front rotors versus the regular Z. You can see the tires have also been, I guess, enhanced. These are even a stickier Dunlop SP Sport Max tire. Nissan says they use a variation of this tire on the GTR, so it's going to give you even more grip. The rear of the vehicles, the tires are now 10 millimeters wider, so you have a 285 width tire. That's going to give us that improved grip. Now, in terms of the rest of the styling, you can distinguish a Nismo version from the blacked out side mirrors, the kind of dark gray finish that you find here on this little samurai blade that's a signature styling element, along with the black roof that's, again, unique to the Nismo version, along with the usual heritage style badge that you'll find here on the C-pillar. And then at the rear of the car, Nissan, again, is trying to give you more downforce because they want this car to be the most track-capable version of the Z, and you're going to get that, of course, with the Aero. You can see it has kind of like a 3-piece design to the actual rear spoiler. You can see it's allowing it to create more positive drag to kind of help push the vehicle down into the pavement. Down here on the rear, you can see it has its own unique rear diffuser system with more of that red stripe that kind of follows from the front all the way to the sides and into the rear. And then underneath, or behind the bumper, you can see there's a Nismo tuned exhaust system, which Nissan says they've given it a throatier sound. They actually told me I'm allowed to start it up, so let's go ahead and fire it up. You can hear how it sounds real quick. Now, the regular Z's exhaust was a little bit too soft for me, so I like the improvements that Nissan has made. Now, the taillights of this vehicle, you can see kind of the same heritage-style taillights that you found from the regular Z. It really reminds me a lot of the 300ZX, and it looks good with this new kind of wider, more aggressive spoiler. And then in terms of the cargo area, you can see the Z still has a pretty big size trunk. I believe this measures a little over 10 cubic feet. This actually looks bigger versus what you find in the Supra because of the much wider opening, but of course you still kind of had the strut tower braces that kind of get in the way in terms of maximum cargo capacity. But overall, you can see the Nismo version still remains relatively practical, but it also looks far more aggressive. So moving on to the interior of the Nismo Z, I have to say, when Nissan first showed this interior, I liked all the changes made. I mean, obviously there are some parts in here that reminds you of the old Z, but for the most part, Nissan has really taken the technology levels up. But the first thing I want to talk about are these seats. You can see these are unique to the Nismo version. These are an actual Recaro seat with a kind of like a two-tone with the red, the Alcantara, the black leather, the red contrasting stitching. These seats definitely hold you in place a little bit more aggressively than the regular seats, but they also still feel very comfortable, at least for somebody my height. I'm 5'7". I'm like an average build, so they feel like they hold me in place, but they don't feel too constricting as I get in, or as I'm sitting here. Let me shut the door. You can hear the door has a relatively solid sounding thunk, and this is going to be kind of like the top end version of the Z family. So you're going to have the nicest materials, the best tech. In terms of the door panel here, you have a soft touch injection molded plastic. This door handle looks like it was pulled directly off of the previous generation Z, but you can see the steering wheel is also unique to the Nismo. I'm surprised it's not a flat bottom design, but I appreciate the Alcantara. It's got these paddles on the wheel. It has that red 12 o'clock marker position on the steering wheel. Again, that's more for track usage. And then you have an all-digital display. You have a digital display here, a 9-inch display here that includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Those gauges are analog and they look like they were lifted directly off of the regular Z or the old Z. And then you can see materials here on the dashboard. They're soft touch materials with more of that stitching. I would have appreciated to see more red kind of splashed on the dash to kind of give it that two-tone look. Sadly, of course, this is the gear selector for the 9-speed auto. Now, I have driven the 9-speed auto in the regular Z. I liked it, but I thought it needed to shift faster. Nissan says they've done that with the new Nismo version, so I'll be looking forward to driving this. Stay tuned for my driving impressions sometime in September. You can see also there's a couple of red ionized buttons here for the start-stop, for the drive mode selector. This is unique, of course, to the Nismo. Nissan also gives us a new Sport Plus driving mode, which in the regular Z, it only goes up to Sport. Now it goes up to Sport Plus. What I'm noticing, however, is it's missing a wireless phone charging pad. I still don't see that here. Perhaps that's a dealer accessory. You have single zone automatic climate control, USB ports, and then you can see here still a traditional handbrake for those of you who want to do drifting or J-turns. And then you can see over here, open this up, you have a cup holder, and you also have a small center console area. And then as you also see here, the Z continues to only be a two-seater. There is no back seat, but there's a little bit of storage there if you guys want to put stuff. So overall, the interior definitely got some nice upgrades to it. Obviously, in terms of, luxurious, it doesn't feel luxury in here. You won't mistake this for an Infiniti, but I really appreciate how roomy it is, and these new seats, they still hug you, but they're also still very comfortable to sit in for those of you who plan to use this as a daily driver. So when Nissan finally brought back the all-new 7th generation Nissan Z to North America, I had a lot of respect for the company because they brought us a Z that was all Nissan. Even though some of the parts were reused from the previous generation model, I thought the car was a really attractive car. I thought it offered a great value, especially in terms of power. It had a lot of horsepower, 400 horsepower standard. However, one area where I thought Nissan needed to improve was the handling. Now, while I haven't had a chance to drive this vehicle yet, the company claims this is the most track-capable version of the Nismo, and I will be having a chance to drive it sometime in September, so stay tuned when we drive that vehicle for our first drive out in Northern California. But overall, if you guys are looking to get your hands on the Nismo version of the Z, Nissan hasn't confirmed whether this will be a limited production model, but obviously this will be at the top of the Nissan Z family. We don't have pricing just yet, but if you guys are looking to get your hands on it, you should expect it to show up at Nissan dealerships by this fall, so you're gonna have to wait a couple more months. And in terms of pricing, I'm gonna go ahead and speculate because the regular Z starts at around just under 40 grand, around just under 50 grand if you guys want the performance. I'd probably say if Nissan charges around 58,000 for the Nismo version, it'll be a really great deal, especially for those of you who are looking for the most track-capable version of the Z. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the brand new 2024 Nissan Nismo Z. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.